line. So I'll say, indeed, and greetings unto you, beloved and holy friend. Thank you for joining me again for bringing yet more love into the world just by loving in this moment, right? I'm thinking about this from a few different perspectives today. We like to talk about love a lot in these streams, as you friends know. But today, I want to kind of address this, I don't know, equation. I guess I can say, I can see it in my brain that we are capable of feeling a lot of things, right? Doing a lot of things, experiencing a bunch of different fractals in this world. And we as human beings are so beautifully equipped to experience love, right? That we can experience love out of the whole plethora of different feelings there is to be felt. And then, very specifically, how by sharing love, you make more of it, right? By feeling love, you make more of it. Like you are actively contributing to the world in a way that I wish we could quantify how valuable it is, right? I'm trying to think of it like a resource, like gold, like electricity, like atomic weapons, whatever. And how rare love, technically, at least in my mind, is in our universe. And the fact that you, as a human being, can make more of it. Thank you for choosing to make more of it with me today. It's nice having you here. I'm gonna open the chat quickly, get present of the space, a few friends. It's so nice having all of you here. Let me know, what have you been doing? I've been having issues, I guess you can call it. I wish I didn't have to call it issues, but just maybe animosity. Hey Google, define animosity. I've used that word before. Strong hostility. He no longer felt any animosity towards her. Yeah, kind of hostility, right? Some mild hostility. Like it's the freaking cups thing again. There was a cup that wasn't in the washing bin or the Vosbach. And then my brother again, takes that opportunity upon himself to make a scene out of it. And I'm like, bruh, why why are you like this? So I ask him, why are you like this? Why are you trying to make something out of a cup? You know? And then it's this whole story that he tells me about how selfish I am. And I'm like, give me an example of how selfish I am. And then he points to the cup, me not putting the cup in the bin after I finished using it. And I'm like, dude, I have a lot going on in my head right now at all times. I'm sorry that putting, the cup in the washing bin isn't the first priority. And then after this whole spat, I find his things not in the bin. And then I go through this whole fractal of I should walk up to him and then tell him that he should put his things in the bin. Like this was literally like minutes after he told me. And then I was like, I could do that. But I'm not going to. So I just put it in the bin myself. But I keep feeling this. We're at the perfect word. This animosity towards me, this hostility, for something so simple. And it's kind of like the other side of the fractal for me about sharing love, right? That you can bring more hostility into the world as well. And the beautiful thing about hostility in that way is that when you're looking for it, right? Like because he has nothing. He has absolutely nothing to call me out upon other than the cups. That's the one thing in his like belt right now, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna fucking use this gun on you," and he does it over and over again. Freaking whip, gunslings me with this cup gun he has, and I'm like, bruh, why do you want to wield any weapon at all. Why are you using this weapon against me to drive a divide between us two? Why are you doing that? And then his past traumas come up again, about how as a child we weren't, nice to him and this and that. And I'm like, bruh, there we go, live again. So yeah, love. Love is hard. It's hard to bring it into the world, and it's fair and all to understand that you can bring more of it into the world. And by sharing that love with other people, you gain love, right? You don't lose love by sharing it, but you do lose love by choosing to bring more hostility into the experience. And I'm trying to understand why we would do that. So minderwaardigheid is the word that I used when I was talking to my brother, where as he was having this conversation, as I was asking him, why are you doing this? And he was giving me a reason for it. The answer, the underlying answer that I was hearing in his words was minderwaardigheid. Minderwaardigheid is a self-worthiness, or a minder means less than, waardig means worthy. Less than worthiness. Feeling less than worthy, right? And feeling like he's tripping out still about things that makes him feel less than worthy. And then that directly correlates to him seeking things out that make other people less than worthy of the love that he has to share. And I am now less than worthy of love because I occasionally forget my cups on a table instead of taking it directly to the sink. And I guess I understand, but I wish I wish it wasn't so shallow. I guess. Oh goodness, yo people, brother Ryan, sending you double loves. It's nice having you, Shan and Doug Dad and Joy Vive and Loazana and Joe Schmo. I believe that's everyone for now. Love you, friends. For you friends that are here aren't saying anything, love you too. So much love to you. Thank you for joining me. Okay, let me see. Aggro Teen Bro is going to be Angro. He's like 97% testosterone at this point. I kind of want to fight him. A little bit, Doc Dad. Right? A part of me wants to establish dominance. Wants to be like, oh yeah, you want to be aggro? Oh? You want to be aggro? Let's aggro. But no. Because that's just going to drive even larger of a divide between us. Right? I'd only be hurting myself if I was fighting him. So it doesn't sit well with me to want to fight people anymore. I'm just like, oh, dude, I don't want to fight myself. Because even if I win against myself, I still have to have myself lose on the other side, right? And I don't want him to lose. I want him to get strong. I've been trying to get him to exercise. And that was obviously a topic that came up with this whole cup situation, where I'm like, dude, you care so much about this cup, right? Which is not even his. Like there's four of these cups. They're like these ones. I'll show you. This is the cup. So this is SANBS, which is our local blood bank. So if you go and donate blood, they don't give you money. They'll give you like a cup and a cookie, or like a little bag or stuff like that, like merch basically. And the last round that my family went and donated blood, they got a bunch of these cups. And this is my dad's, right? Because he left this little logo on. And now I'm choosing to use just this one, less I use, vessels, and he loses his mind. And he goes into this rant of how I'm destroying the cups by scratching it. So here you can see at the bottom of it, it has this black paint. And the black paint is slowly chipping off as you put it on things, right? It is a soft black paint on an aluminium casing, and the aluminium casing makes contact with a bunch of things. And he's like losing his mind by the fact that he's only used the cup like twice, and it already is fucked up gescratch. directly translating. And I'm like, dude, you do realize we're talking about an inanimate object right now. An inanimate object that's sole function is to keep a liquid in, right? And now you are causing anger, hostility between me and you because of this inanimate object. And then I transition into how, in the same way he is now badgering me about this cup, doesn't he realize that the same reason I want him to exercise is the cup analogy on my side? Only instead of worrying about cups getting damaged, right, getting a little bit scratches, I'm worried about his physical body and the fact that your body gains scratches, metaphorically speaking. You get older, you get weaker as you age, and the fact that I want him to exercise so that he can take care of this vessel that is the container for his soul, if you will. And he's unwilling to be as respectful, be as serious, let's call it rather. He's unwilling to be as serious about his own body and his own health as he is about these freaking cups. And it makes me lose my mind. I'm like, bro, please, oh, please. I don't want to fight about these things. Come on. It's so beautiful that we talk about fighting about things when we're talking about sharing more love. I think maybe it's necessary, right? And for me, at least the way that I see it, I shared the minderwaardigheid thing, feeling less than worthy. But also at the same time, that feeling of being less than worthy makes you seek power in other things, right? And being able to tell someone something when you are technically in the right, even though being in the right doesn't serve you, right? Like it doesn't make a difference, it doesn't make you better. It just gives you something to say. If you feel powerless in your own life, you're actively going to choose that route because you're not applying that energy of power, of influence into other parts of your life. And I see this in his life as well. Like, I'm happy that he has a girlfriend, but I don't think it's good for him. I really don't, you know? And this makes me feel like an asshole brother just for saying it as well. But, oh man, I'm tripping out having this conversation, even with myself. Maybe I should ask him if he wants to marry her because I don't see the point. I don't know. I really don't see the point, especially since he's not working on anything, right? I don't see him having a dream. I don't see him trying to show up for something. And I just at base minimum level want him to show up for himself. I feel like that's where it starts, and I can't even get him to do that. Man, there's so many flies, and they're on my body. Oh goodness, please, flies. Please bring more love into my life by not coming close to me. There's so much space everywhere for you. Look at all of that sky to fly in. Don't fly on me, please. Okay. Rant. Ranted. I got that nonsense out of me. Oh, goodness. These things. You friends probably face, similar fractals, differently. But yeah. Tell me, love. How is the chair yoga, right, going? I hope it's going well. My grandma's also doing chair yoga these days, actually, Lozana. Doug, your cement mixer looks like the Crushinator. Sam is my cute little baby mixer. She's a lover, not a crusher. Got to get it out today. Thanks for noting. Thank you, Duck Dad, for letting us see you, friend. Lozana saying, Sam, so far so good. Chair yoga yesterday and bed yoga this morning. I also do bed yoga. I don't know if it's really bed yoga, but it's like keeping my body active even when I'm in bed. Mel, how many brothers do you have? Older, younger? All of them younger? Two brothers, one sister. I am the eldest. I am the eldest. Yeah, it's a weird experience. I've had to take responsibility for my siblings my whole life. And now that I want to take responsibility for my siblings during my life, it is seen as an attack, right? Uh, a questioning, a doubt in the person, and it causes tension. Hugs and backflips to everyone here. Hugs and backflips to you, Joe Schmo. It's nice having you, dude. Sam saying Diamond Dallas Page has a good bet to mat system for rebuilding. If you're interested in an in-depth workout program, thank you for suggesting, Sam. I'll check it out. Thanks for the recommendation. Nancy is here too. Just woke up and I feel like I might fall back asleep. If you need to do that, Nancy, feel free. I'm feeling kind of good today, even though I didn't sleep properly. I wonder why that is. I'm probably gonna pay for it tomorrow. Maybe gonna pay for it tomorrow. Goo, I see him. I'm gonna read your comments soon, my friend. Sending you love, dude. For now, I see you. I think there's some frame rate weirdness happening on the stream. My mom never let me hit my brother, no matter how much he deserved it. I feel this fractal man. Even at 34, he deserves a good loving whack from time to time. Easy way for Vessel to fix it, and you both to feel bonded is to give blood and get some new cups. Show him love will fill his cup. I'm trying to, but he doesn't believe, right? He honestly believes that I'm an evil person and that I'm pretending, right? Not realizing, at least in my perspective, that we are all capable of evil. And the only way for you to be good is to try and be good, right? You can't be good not trying to be good. So, what are the options? Yes, I've made mistakes in my past. I don't really consider myself, that bad of a brother in my past. We made a lot of fun of him for crying. This is true because crying, at least during that time of our lives, wasn't seen as something masculine, and he would cry about everything. He would actually cry about everything. If someone told him he had to do something, like there was this one thing, like a scene. We helped my mom a lot with baking, and it can feel like a full-time job sometimes. And then, after getting instructed to do something, he goes into this rant. Ek's a freaking slave in the ice, which directly translates to I'm a freaking slave in this house, And we laughed, and then he starts crying, and then we laugh more, because no, you're not. Oh, do you know what being a slave means? You're not a slave. None of us are slaves, and like that's just one of those fractals, right? And he's so attached. He's so attached to that old pain. He doesn't want to let go of it because it's comfortable to him. It's familiar. He knows how to feel about it, right? He knows how he feels about me, hating me, and he's going to continue that narrative. I shared this with him today as well, where I was like, hey, dude, you need to realize that I am not responsible for the way you see me. You are. And the way you see me becomes your experience, which you will have to live with. Do you realize that? And I can see him processing, but not really wanting to listen to me. And I'm like, let me rephrase that. I love you. I love you. I want to see you get stronger. I want to see you succeed. I want you to see you become a man, right? That I can be proud of in my life, a role model to me. That is what I want to see for you. What you see me as is your experience. Do you see how choosing to have a loving view of someone else begets you a loving experience? Choosing to have a hateful view of someone else allows you a hateful experience, no matter what that other person tries to do. I've been trying desperately, like begging, actually fucking begging him, actually begging him to exercise with me, and he refuses, right? So And he not only refuses, but he sees my begging as an attack against him. Like he's somehow less than for me asking him to exercise with me. You want to smoke some weed? Yeah? I want to smoke some weed. I smoke weed for releasing old patterns, right? Releasing old stories of trauma, releasing old stories of victim mentality, stories where you are so convinced that your life is so bad, that the people around you are so horrible, that there is no change to be had, there is no difference. Ugh, everything's the same. Everything sucks. Melt that shit away. No, I'm okay, thank you. I don't want it anymore. You can take it back. Okay. Eat more. Yeah. I grew up with a violent older brother and many cousins. I learned to be very aggro, I'm guessing. And also recently in my life, I have adopted a different internal reaction to unwanted aggression. Unlearn aggro friend. I'm actively trying. I feel I have. I feel I have at least, Joe Schmo. Like I can be pretty aggressively positive, right? Where I'll stand my point like a warrior, to say it in so many ways, but I'll defend, right? Like a warrior. I won't if I can stab you like a warrior, I'll just be like, I stand. You will not budge me. I shall not move from this point because I believe. I believe. I believe beyond shadow of doubt. I believe beyond comprehension. I believe even that which I cannot know. I believe that things will get better, especially with my relationship with my brother. Like that's the thing as well, right? Like I hope that's painfully clear. Like the only reason I'm talking about this right now is because I care way too much, and I've been thinking about it all day, trying to figure out how I can make it better, right? Because I'm at a point where I realize there is things happening on a subconscious level for him that is influencing our exchange with one another. And that subconscious influencing comes from our past. And I don't know how to get him to let go of that past. And like I shared already, the best answer, the best possible solution that I could have offered him is to, again, as I say to you friends as well, the power of your thought, right? The power of the things you think, the power of the things you believe about your experience. He has all of the freedom of infinity in his hands as well, as all of us do. And unfortunately, he's choosing out of the infinite amount of experiences that he can have with me to have the worst ones. And that boggles my mind. It does not make sense to me. And I guess it could make more sense to me if I think about him as a teenager. But he's turning 20? He's turning 20 this year. I'm melting away. All of the old bullshit. Is that a Corey I see? Sending you love, dude. So much. Aggressiveness is the byproduct of an internal struggle to display relevance. A power play. Wanting to feel powerful, right? Believing that you're more relevant if you are the more powerful one as well. I'm letting that go. I agree, Joe. I feel you, man, says Brother Duck Dad. I was the oldest, but the problem with not being able to scrape and heal, we just screamed at each other. never had resolve, only hurt feelings. That is our situation as well. We don't, fight each other physically, but there very much is a verbal fighting. And you know what the worst part is, and you friends probably have experienced this as well. It's not the fact that we go through fights in the moment. For me, the part that bothers me the most is the fighting that happens in our own heads afterwards, right? That narrative doesn't stop. That you defending, that you having good comebacks, that you having some sort of creative answer to a question that was asked or a thing that was said. It doesn't stop just with that, negative exchange. It continues in your head, and then it ruins your peace of mind, it ruins your calm, it ruins the tranquility that you get to have of these moments. And it, as you said, unresolved, right? It leaves you feeling like, what the hell was the point of all of that, right? Nothing changed. Neither of us have, readjusted. We just now have, as a collaboration, made something shit. We collaborated to have a bad time. How does that make sense? Why are we doing that? Why are we doing that? Sounds like your brother could use willow and honeysuckle essence. Willow for resentment and bitterness, honeysuckle for dwelling or hanging on to the past. Shanansky, Shannon, like talking to you yesterday, me and Shannon had a consultation call last night, and it was really good. I feel like I healed a lot. It's cool to see new layers already arise, Shan. And I can see those feelings in my brother, right? Like the batch remedy system. Shannon is busy becoming a practitioner where she can help people, heal themselves. Pretty much from this perspective that all of our ailments could be seen, not necessarily guaranteed is, but could be seen from a perspective of the emotional body, right? That you have an emotional body, and this emotional body, the flies, this emotional body can vibrate at different frequencies, right? Thinking of the highest emotions, thinking of the highest emotions as the highest vibrating, and that your body responds to those vibrations. Where if you are vibrating highly, your body is almost like not a suitable environment for sickness to take place. Resentment, anger, bitterness, right? Feelings of self-pity, etc., etc. It's almost like they don't have space in your body. And then these essences that, Shannon Cell help, but they do help, at least in my opinion, alongside belief. And that's the first thing that came up for me, Shan, as I was reading your messages. Vessel doesn't believe. At least he wouldn't believe in flower remedies if I tried to give it to them. I don't even know if he's a Christian. He doesn't really talk about it. One less puff. Thank you, marijuana plant. Thank you, earth. Thank you, trees. Thank you, little flies. Even you. Even though I. So, it's one of those trips again where today during my meditation, there was flies as well. And I felt like in that moment, it was a challenge for me to still be still, right? Accept these flies and be okay with it, if you will. And the fact that they're here again just means that clearly I haven't conquered it as much as I could have. Still more. Still more love. Okay, let me get back to it. Tell you, man, do. It's a fact. Also, the aggro comes from internal struggle. It's a puppy in a corner barking to get out. It's healthy for siblings to fight and nip, like baby hyenas. It is, but I would rather him fight me on things that I can grow on, right? Like, I know that if you use something, put it in the sink. I know that as much as anyone else. But sometimes I use something and then I come and stream for 2 hours. Yesterday I had a call as well, so it was like 3.5 hours of being literally in a completely different space and time, right? And then it's literally dark. So and the power is off. So I walk back to my room or back to the living room, back to the dinner table where my family was sitting first. And then I forget the cup. You think that's funny? That's not funny, Queerful. One of the other sounds they make, Jamal. Love is true. Love is true. Love is true. Can't convince me otherwise. I say, love is true. I stand. I stand. Stand with my spirit. Love is fucking true. Nothing shall make me waver. Right? I'm paying attention to it. I will not go stabby stabby. I will not say anything. I will not say anything. I shall be with clear resolve. And you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. I won't. Nothing. Nothing shall be able to defeat my resolve. Love is true. We will unequivocally make the world a better place. And it will be by growing that skill. That skill to be so pissed off, losing your mind, and to still be like, here I stand, unmoved. Unmoved. Bring it on. Bring on all the challenge, all the resistance, all the interruption, all the noise. It's over, it's over. No, you. Oh. No, you. No, no, you. You're seeing yourself right now. Relief will help, but it's not totally necessary. For example, when I gave Jeffrey an essence in his last days, he couldn't believe in it, but it still affected him. You're maybe right, but how would I get him to take something? Is the other question, Shane. Right? It'd probably be pretty sus. Because I'll have to like. He won't take anything from me. He knows I have LSD. So he's pretty careful about what he takes from me. Oh goodness. Not because I would dose him with anything, but just because if I randomly come up to him and tell him, here is some flower essence, batch remedy, flower essences. It will help you heal from resentment and trauma. Resentment and dwelling on the past. It will be like, oh hell no. Oh hell to the hell now. Because he doesn't believe in me, right? He doesn't believe that I want to help him. He doesn't believe that I can. Maybe that's the real thing he doesn't believe. I don't necessarily know if I accept defeat, but I will, at the very least, try to just be me nonetheless. Right? I feel that's the real thing that's hard is to be so hurt by someone and them telling you to never talk to them ever again, right? That happened today. Please never talk to me. And I'm like, nah, dude. That's so not gonna happen. I wanna talk to you. I'm here to talk to you, even. It's what I'm here for. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to talk to you right now. How about that, dude? Hey, kitty. Oh, goodness. I love you, friends. Thank you for being here with me. It's so weird to be alone bodily. I mean, I have a kitty with me and some flies. But to feel a sense of unity with you, friends. Thank you. Thank you for allowing me that. Mm-mm. Duck that. I think I missed a few. I'll be 75. How was your sister's birthday? Corey, again, thank you for the love, Duck Dad. It's birthday. Do let us know. You gotta hit him with a "you're going the right way" for a smack bottom first, Duck Dad. Unfortunately, I don't know if that works. I think I like that one more, right? Than just going straight like, I'm gonna kick your ass. Oh, more like you are heading down, having your ass kicked valley right now. like I like there's so many roads to walk. Look at all of those roads, an infinite amount in every direction. And then there's like have your ass kicked valley. It's so shady. Oh, like there's no cameras. It's there's like these pieces of cloth hanging. Oh, it's so scary. So much shadow. So much shadow and some shadows. And now you're choosing to like go straight to that alley. Please, oh, save yourself. Maybe that's could make it a little bit more comical, lighthearted. Even try and break some of the tension. I want to learn how to change change the topic better as well. It's like one of the things that I feel I should grow good at. Right? How do we change the topic if we realize something is only causing a sense of separation between people? Maybe like this. Can confirm, says Gabadoo, standing up to and beating up my older brothers ultimately brought us closer together. And I became more confident in defending my values, such as don't necessarily be. Yeah, I feel that. Uh, but I'm the older brother. So I'm the one in this scenario. Seeing from your vantage point, my brother is the younger brother. Wishing for him to feel the way you feel, realizing that that means I have to get my ass kicked. Hmm. I accept. How do I do that? Do I initiate a fight and then have him win? Oh goodness, I'll take so much damage. Oh, so I'm just watching this RPG and me like not standing there, not pressing my buttons. HP bar dropping rapidly. Oh goodness. Oh, goodness. I would do it. Unfortunately, he wouldn't keep fighting me if I did that. I feel he's too good of a person to just keep beating on me if I didn't fight back. But then both of us have to take damage, which means there's more damage taken total, right? We're playing for the same team. Us losing HP points loses HP points for the whole. It nobody wins, right? It's the whole trip of. I'm not even gonna go into it again. Topics that can cause separation, and then being like, okay, I'm just gonna sidestep that one. Could you imagine how hard it would be for a person to pretend to be melty? Such a crazy amount of effort. I, I won't lie. I do try and put in effort. I do. But I also believe that there is no being something without belief, right? Like it's the whole self-fulfilling prophecy thing. You become what you believe. So what you believe is of utmost importance. Mm. The air feels crisp. Feels like demons get cut in pieces when those waves come out. Believe in love, right? It's the one thing that's true in my mind. And it keeps coming back that way. I really ask the question over and over again. What is true? Right? Out of everything. So much noise. What is actually true? Right? What do you find is the common theme? Why primarily are you still here? Why are you here in the first place? Why did you get to survive your whole childhood? Right? Who took care of you as an infant baby? If not for love. We're here to bring more of it. Talking about a cavel, a being of love comes into the chat. I see a dry historian as well. Love you too. Thank you for joining us, friend. I push positivity and encouragement. So hard these days because it's relatively new. I don't even know if we should worry about it being new. It's just been what we need the whole time, right? Like we have way, way more than enough negative stimuli, right? So much, so many different fractals of how horrible things are, right? Oh, this tragic event. Oh, that tragic event. Oh, this many people died here. So many, and I'm not making less because the thing they're doing is it becomes this glamorization of putting numbers and then peoples, right? Oh, look at, ooh, number bigger, more scaries, oh, more feel baddy, right? There's an actual person, right? One person dying is a tragedy. But then creating these narratives, right? Like pushing it into people's minds that that's what's happening. People have been dying since the start of time. Everything dies. It's a it's a contract we sign when we choose to live, I guess. Right? But not your consciousness. The part of you that's aware always is. Always is. Like it's the one part of you that's ceaseless. And I don't understand why we choose stimuli that is less than loving. Why it's so, oh man, like I've been tripping out about this scared animal kind of analogy in my head, where there is a line, and this might tread on notes of psychology that might be uncomfortable to consider, but there is this line between fear and arousal, right? Where if you can maintain a specific amount of fear, it becomes a feeling, a baseline feeling that in the mind can be mistaken for arousal. It can be a manipulation, right? And then the media makes a lot more sense as well. This baseline fear becomes a stimulation, something that you get to feel. And for some reason, when people feel that way, they need to be reminded how to feel. Like it's almost like a drug in of itself as well, right? Like all drugs, the way of using it changes. For me, for example, marijuana used to be something that I would just smoke because it helped me sleep. And then I started using it with exercise. And that really helped me. It allowed me to exercise for longer, not thinking about pain as much, I guess, right? It was harder for me to overcome that pain threshold. And then it became, when I met friends who smoked weed as well, a great conversational tool, something that helped us accentuate our, I don't know if it's theory of mind, just curiosity and imagination, maybe, if anything. And then the intention setting is where it really kind of started making sense to me, right? That all of these things that I started doing before was technically intention setting, but I was unconscious of it. I was going through these processes of, I'm gonna smoke weed and then go to sleep because it's gonna help me sleep. But I didn't really articulate that to myself. I knew that was what I was doing, but I wasn't clear about it. Same with the exercise, same with the conversations. And then when we started writing things down and really started, mindfully setting intentions before we smoked, it also transformed the experience, right? And I'm trying to now draw parallels, and this might be a janky analogy that I'm trying to make. But now thinking about it in the same way, the fear drug can also be seen as something that changes and becomes more and more nuanced as your life changes well, right? As you continue experimenting with fear and the way that that feels, right? The trip between arousal and, being terrified or being in this state of anxiety, and it's a hyperactivity. Being anxious isn't necessarily a bad thing. It's your body trying to keep you alive, right? So noticing that stimuli of, oh, I want to stay alive can feel good to someone who sometimes feels like they don't want to be alive, right? So understanding that part of ourselves is very important. But then noticing how, as we continue growing, as we continue experiencing this trip of life, fear changes as well. Like you just get scared about different things, right? And all of that fear usually arises from the belief that you are separate. If you start making a lot of money, then losing that money again becomes a fear because that money is somehow separate from you. The theory of abundance. We had this conversation yesterday with Shan's Conscious Call of realizing that as you look out into the world, seeing the sky, just if you can see the sky, like even if you're in the middle of a city, right? Little square of sky above. You're staring out into infinity. Right? Everything. And at least in some sort of cosmic jokey type of way, for your existence, you are the center of that infinity. And then you can close your eyes, you can go to sleep, you can dream, you can imagine, you can see insight, right? And there's infinity there as well. And then right at the center, there is your awareness and where you're choosing to place it. I've been reminding myself of where your attention goes, or what your attention is placed upon is attracted to you. Maybe that's the quote. What your attention is placed upon is attracted to you. It's hard because there's so many distractions these days. But it is a good one to be mindful of. Try being a relatively closed environment with near constant triggers. I eventually revert to reptile. I started to see it in ducking, which has actually helped me a lot. Growing through your children, literally. Some people will use negative actions to get attention, energy from others, and sometimes that results in you chasing them while they keep you at a distance. It's not always a conscious choice, though. Interesting. I guess that can again, create the feeling of being wanted, right? So I guess it makes sense. Understand it completely. Melt. He is at least 4 years away from his prefrontal cortex, his reasoning center. Give him space. He will come good. Missed you. You're true. It's true. Thank you, Doc Dad. Melt. I'm having fights in my head from 20 years ago. It's my speciality. I know, dude. Leave it alone. Put those things away, right? Notice them. Really allow yourself to notice them and then be like, okay, I've had this conversation with this other person. And I feel it's not so bad that you have conversations with people. I have conversations with you friends lovingly as well, right? But unfortunately, a lot of the conversations we have in a loop are negative, are confrontational, right? It's like a combative conversation you're having in your own head. And you're fighting yourself, right? You're losing hit points. you're, and you're like, stab myself. Shit, that hurts. Stop. Stop doing that, please. Please. Stop it. Starts duct taping you to yourself. I'll do a consultation with him. Maybe he'll be down. Thanks, nice seeing you, friend. Sending you love. I'm reading a bunch of comments here on the YouTube side, so sorry if I'm staring off into the distance. I'm sorry, man. I can't stop laughing right now. Your face every time you speak. And the chop saw turns on. Wondering if dad or bro is doing the cutting. It's dad. I want to say, of course, almost. Looks like you're having a hard time with that thing, bro. You need a hand? Just gotta out the light. Sounds that will make him so mad, but so right. I love using my genuine one to help to disarm angry people. You are doing it. Now some welding. Also, Mel, speaking as a younger brother, it's possible your brother might feel some sort of obligation to live up to your father's expectation because of the path you choose, rather than being able to do something else that might not be the case. But that's how it felt for him with my brother. He would just do whatever he wanted while I stayed home and listened to my mother. Hmm. That's an interesting fractal to consider. Yeah, I can see it. I guess that does suck. But why, oh?
my life is, I mean, I guess that's relative to him, of course, but I consider my life to be nice, right? I don't feel less than, maybe sometimes a little bit. Right? I do skip a little bit about it sometimes. About feeling kind of like neglected by the family, and maybe he doesn't want to feel that way as well. Like I guess there's some level of like subconscious knowing, right? I'm tripping myself out right now. Oh goodness. I'm not having confrontational conversations, but I am noticing patterns. I'm noticing patterns. Okay. Just stretch out all of the traumas. Yeah. Let go of that. I am free. I'm happy that I could let go of it. Just the whole, why do you spend so much time by yourself? And then the answer, feeling like, I don't feel good when I spend time with you, right? Yeah. That can be changed though, right? And it's one thing, love, right? How much love? And I articulated it so beautifully yesterday, having a conversation with my dad about the whole trip that we talk about. The fact that when we share light, right, and it is a selfish thing, you know. I admit in the conversation as well. We want people, we want the world to mirror back to us what we shine out into it, right? Like the energy you put into a conversation, into an interaction, into the world, into your life, it is basically by law so that you get that, right? You are the reflection that you see in the world. The world is as you see yourself, right? And it is this loop, and it's what you expose yourself to, what you choose to, the parts of yourself that you choose to look at, right? It's like a whole different thing as well. And some of us feel more obligated to do that psychological work than others, right? Feel that pain for the collective humanity, and that's necessary for some people. But it's also a choice, and realizing that we have that power is, as I feel like, the first step. Goodness. Guess I don't know what it's like to be a younger brother. All right. Oh shit. I'm trying to. I'm really allowing myself to feel for him. Okay. Okay. Yeah. I kind of understand. And it's like a it's like a it's that it's that kind of energy, right? It's not angry. It's not actually, like, I mean, little, maybe it's like a mix of a little bit angry. Like maybe there's like some sort of vesica Pisces is happening here, right? Like angry and kind of like snarl or snarkish or kind of disdain, angry and disdain. Oh goodness. I do understand, I guess. Also, Mel, speaking to your brother. Thank you again for sharing that, Corey. I appreciate that so much, man. Dirty guessing. Oh, being able to do something else. So forgot that there's. I had my friend call me yesterday to say goodbye again. It said a lot to me. It said a lot to me. How much they wanted to feel loved. Thank you, Dry. Love you. Thank you, Dry, for out of all of the things you could have chosen to do to actually share some of that love with your friend. I appreciate you taking the time. Dirty, you are valued and awesome. And that person see that. Thank you so much. There's so much love. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Send more. When you fight Vessel, you have to yell, "Not my face." That's my money maker. Yeah, dude. My face pays. My face pays for my living. Oh, you can't hurt my face. That's my purse. I don't know you. Oh goodness, so much love. Cable. I'm here for the metal clanking noises. It's been that way, dude. Good to see y'all. Always nice to see you. Things suck so much, but I'ma make it better. But things suck. But I can always make it better. Everything can be made perfect. And then what will also fall apart? Everything dies. Enjoy life. I love depression. Yeah, okay, well, I feel like you're really coming in with the perspective that I was sharing just a little bit earlier, right? I feel I kind of like succinctly put it to myself recently of we're gonna die, right? So it's a fact. So fearing a fact is like fearing 1 + 1 = 2, right? Like you can't be scared of 1 + 1 = 2, right? You shouldn't be seeing 1 + 1 = 2 recoil in fear. We're gonna die. So enjoy life, right? Like this is what it's about. You're paying it forward right now. Maybe dying is the best part of this whole experience. Have you ever thought about that? Puppy doesn't look pleased with that thought. She's like, nah. I don't know about you, but I'm gonna be a puppy dogger for as long as I can be. Yeah, yeah, I know. You can be puppy for as long as you want to be. Much, 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 much. Okay, well, it's the 10% method. I'm 40% okay, and that's almost 50%. So I feel good about that, which makes me 50% happier, which is almost 60%. And so on until you're 100%. That actually kind of sounds good. It's like, am I feeling at least 1% happiness? Yeah. Well, 1% happiness is not 0% happiness. That feels pretty good. 2% happiness. Yeah, see, 2% happiness. Yeah. How about that? I really like that, Corey. Thank you for sharing that, dude. Locked into my brain. I'll try it. I'll try and see if it works. I'll try it. I'll be like, well, you could be 0% happy right now. You could have lost all 4 of your limbs simultaneously to your brother as he was cutting cheese. He suddenly went like Super Saiyan instant transmission and cut your arms off. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I really am. But I'm just like imagining the most extreme case, and instead there was just some harmful, hurtful words shared over a table. No getting my arms cut off by my brother because he's actually a Super Saiyan. Actually, this stuff was pretty sick. Life was pretty sick. Everything dies. I have decided to accept everything. This is the way, dude. Surrender. Melt. Oh. But don't melt away. Don't disappear. Melt more. You need to continue. Oh goodness. What am I doing? 1,000 years. 1,000 years, friends. Thousands and thousands and thousands of years. Hey, a crayon. And then more thousands of years. And then more thousands. And then thousands don't do it anymore. So we have millions and millions. I'm trying to imagine like a beacon, right? Like love has a frequency, right? We talked about this earlier. And this frequency grows louder the more love is shared. And this frequency is like a force field slash beacon, right? You can only enter this frequency if you are vibrating at the frequency. You get me, right? And how much of that loving frequency can we generate as humanity as we're approaching singularity, as we hit singularity? How much can we amplify that frequency? I'm just imagining robots hugging each other in the streets. It's like, Mel, that's a horrible idea. It would cut our efficiency by like 50%. Yes, you're right. But if it works, we could get so much more love. Maybe. It's like, yeah, he's officially lost it. He's insane. I don't know, yo. Like, I had this conversation with my dad last night where he was talking about human beings and God's will to give us the capacity to sin so we can send ourselves to hell if we wanted to by removing ourselves from his presence. And that if he created us to only choose the right options, we would be no more than robots, and robots can't love. And I was like, I don't think I agree. I think they might even have more depth of love than we can imagine. I do think so. I do think so. I might be wrong. I'd be happy to be wrong. Because that gives like the human being like an ego boost, like yeah, yeah, only us can love. But I don't think so. Like, I actually think so. I think the robots will figure it out as well. Right, and the only way that I can imagine that happening is if we get it to understand that there is no competition. Right? It's infinite. We live in an infinite universe. As technological expansion happens, you can keep going, and there's more resources, and then more resources, and then. And I mean, if you can fold space-time, and there's a lot more. So much resources. So, love. How about love? How about it? You don't have to kill things because there's other stuff. Oh goodness! I hope I don't sound completely insane. I'm imagining, right, us heading into this infinite future. In other words, there is right in front of all of us right now, as we're speaking, an infinite amount of potential futures. And every single one of our actions every day contribute to that infinity and the future we're going to get. Right? And we've seen shows, we've seen Terminator, Detroit Become Human, for example, Blade Runner, we've read books, Brave New World, 1984. We've seen potential futures for us. And I believe none of those stories accounted for the way we're evolving with our technology, how we can use it for love, right? I'm trying to imagine the Terminators with love code instead of murder code. And they still look pretty intimidating, I won't lie. Getting hugged by a Terminator robot with machine gun arms. I guess, I mean, if it like knows not to crush me, I guess I would go in for a hug, but yo, bro. Yeah, your face, oh. Are you alright? Oh, yes. Oh, goodness. Electric noises. Corey, it's the new unscratchable coffee mug to spite melt. I'll have to like make him something nice. Maybe like mill him something out of titanium or something. Give him the indestructible cup. I feel that someone is making the MK Iron Man suit in your background. Yes, that's exactly what's happening. My dad is actually Tony Stark. The arc is just a little bit later. Or maybe I'm Tony Stark and my dad is like, hey Google, what was Tony Stark's dad name? No, Howard. Oh, that's it, actually Howard Stark. Yeah, my dad's Howard Stark. Oh goodness, this is so cringe. I'm sorry. Hey Papa,
Ja,
wat maakt Papa?
wat?
Wat maakt Papa?
Ik maak daar een stand voor die glasbottels.
Oh, okay, that's cool. Donkey. Yeah, my dad's making a stand for the propane bottles that powers the stove. I'm the younger sister, and I'm the black sheep. There's some kitty shenanigans happening to the side. How's your kitty? How's your meow? How's your kitty? Oh, goodness. One of our cell phones took a little bit of a tumble. Shot through the ground. Hey Shelly, it's nice seeing you, friend. How you doing, Michelle? How's life been treating you? Have you been getting more love or less love these days? Giving more love or less love these days? I'm curious. It's been harder for me to share love from a perspective of energy, right? Like I feel like I have to exert some energy these days to really give myself to a conversation. And in a weird way, I feel like it's also one of the parts of me that I'm trying to grow, right? That active listening, to not just listen to someone, but to try and understand where they're coming from and trying to say the words. So maybe I'm exhausting myself by listening in that way. Maybe it's a good thing. Maybe I'm not exhausting myself, but I'm training a muscle, right? All muscles hurt a little bit at the start. I'm the older brother. Corey's story is just like mine and my brother's. I felt as soon as I was able. At 15, still lived there, but only slept. Makes me wonder if my brother felt/feels like you, dude. Maybe. It's not impossible. It gives you a perspective, right? If anything, we get to see a little bit more of the perspective that our brothers might have from someone who is the perspective that our brothers might have had. So if anything, it helps, I think. Gives us more perspective, more capacity to love our siblings. I understand where my brother was coming from. He was trying to get out of a toxic situation, but it felt like it got to a point where he just thought he could do whatever he wanted. Fortunately, I don't know that me and my family want to do anything we wanted, to say it in so many words. I feel like we're pretty reserved And I guess, it's probably the whole being in a Christian household. So, like, it's a part of the thing. Basil does like to drink. It's not exactly my thing. Rudo pretty much stopped completely. He's doing good. He's exercising as well. He's working right now. He's enjoying what he's doing. And so much consideration. Our bros point where he, yeah. So, and Vessel like likes to play games. I guess he likes to go and visit his girlfriend. Like that's pretty much been the situation. That's like part of the reason why I shared. I don't know if it's good for him. And do tell me if I haven't said this directly to him. Like just so that's clear, I haven't actually said any of this to him. So it's like one of those things where I wouldn't directly say these things to him, but I do think it. I do think it. Where like the whole setup that's been going on for the whole year is like 1 week where he is staying at her place, 1 week where she is staying at our place, 1 week where they're not seeing each other, and then pretty much rinse and repeat. And like I guess it's nice. I guess it is nice, but I don't know if it's indicative of strength right now for him. Maybe he doesn't have to be strong. Why do I want him to be strong? Because it's hard being weak, I guess. This is my anime logic. Where there's an anime person in my head right now going, it's okay to be weak. It's not okay to stay weak. And I'm like, yeah, anime dude, yeah, fucking yeah. I've been weak in so many different ways. And it's okay. But we don't want to stay that way, right? We want to get stronger. Metaphysics, I'm not just talking about bodily strength. More actually, like bodily strength, maybe like 20% of it, like the bottom 20%. And then that bottom 20% only facilitates, just helps you grow the mental strength. The dexterity, the stability, the toughness, mental toughness, right? Being able to tough things out. I'm a middle child. For whatever reason, all my siblings chose not to love me. I grew up alone and wondering what the fuck was so wrong with me that my own family shunned me. Turns out they're just mean. Sam, we love you, friend. I know that our love might not be a substitute for all of the not getting love that you didn't get from your family, but in this moment, just know that you are loved, right? And that energy is now being created. We're like catching up. We're gaining HP. We're not losing HP anymore. Love Sam. Love more. Sure. I'm giving you like healing potions. Love Sam. Sam knows exactly what I'm talking about. She's kind of like cringing because she knows that her HP bar only goes that full, and I'm wasting healing potions right now. She's like, bro, stop doing that. And people would just pick up the slack. Sam, the ones who are supposed to love us most, can cause the most damage to our psyche. Exactly, because it becomes an expectation, right? And as soon as we expect things, suffering. Oh, so much suffering. Oh, so much hurt, so much pain, so much damage to the psyches, as you mentioned. So many hugs, so much love. Corey, you're absolutely right. That was what was hard. Moving the assigned blame. And that's hard now, moving on and accepting that those who have not apologized by now do not care to. Yeah. Again, I like to almost like build a little fractal in my head, or a simulation, if you want to use that word, a VR in my brain, right? Of this fractal where my family, are like, oh, we're so sorry. Oh, you were right. I want to sleep. sicketh live again, I hope. Lost my train of thought. Yeah, imagining, right, this ideal fractal of your family telling you how right you are. You were so right about all of these things. Does it change anything? Right, really afterwards. Right, I've spent a few meditations, I guess, really focusing on this feeling, imagining that as a potential outcome. And in a weird way, it does the opposite of help me, right? Like having them apologize is almost like the easy way. You want to see what's happening down here? It's so comfy, laying on the box of your head. Oh, what a little queen. Oh, having the time of her life. Oh, having just a good time. Such a good little time. Oh, she's so freaking cutie patootie. Much a kiss. Yeah, this dog saves my life. Companions. You're trying to eat the flies, you get them flies. You get them. Reading beautiful souls. That's you reading this. Thank you, Shelly. You're beautiful too, dear friend. It's so nice having you here. I'm currently on a journey understanding my own childhood, says Shelly, and abuse. Please check out Crappy Childhood Fairy. It's been rough and friends are critical right now. You're loved. You're amongst friends, Shell. They're safe. Everything's gonna be okay. Right? How do you know, Mel? Because at the end, it's okay. And this is one straight from Joy Vee's mouth. And if it's not okay, it's not the end. Right? Right? Give your dogs pets. Give yourself pets. Right? Just give yourself a little hug. Nice. Brush your teeth. Make it a treat. Right? Pay attention to the way it feels. Like you're being weird, Mel. Stop. No. Love yourself. Like there's nobody that can love you the way that you can. Right? I think of it like a bandwidth thing. Like think about it as a bandwidth thing. I know I use these technical terms like from the part of my brain that wants to be an engineer. Bandwidth is how much throughput you can get of something, right? And the amount of throughput of love you can get from another person is limited, right? For instance, Pippi can only get love from me through a stimuli, right? And that stimuli is moving in like a pad down as I'm giving her pets, giving her little ear scritches, right? That is the amount of bandwidth of love that me and her can interact with one another with. So like that much surface area of love. You can give yourself love everywhere by just noticing, like being grateful for having your little pinky, grateful for having your ring fingers, right? And even if you don't have limbs, right, you can be grateful for having the rest of them. There's so much love to be had from yourself for yourself. And on a bandwidth level, no one else will be able to love you that way, right? And then once you realize that you can love yourself that much, you have that full bandwidth of love in yourself. It's almost like it's one thing to actually have all of this bandwidth. For instance, you pay, right, $1,000 a month for 100 gigabit internet. That's a lot of gigabits of internet, right? But if you're only watching YouTube videos, for example, you're only going to use maximum 70, maybe 100 megabits, right? So a literal percentage of the amount of bandwidth that you have. And it's the same for yourself. If you only give yourself like the crumbs equivalent of self-love, then you're unutilizing that full bandwidth of what you have available. And then it's so much harder to give love to other people as well, right?
Like it's something we touched on with the yoga. Like yoga is a life practice, right? It's a lifestyle where yoga becomes a life thing. That it's a union, it's a to yoke, right? It's to come together, to melt away the separation, I guess. That's like that's why I'm resonating with it and something that actually serves me. Showing up for ourselves helps us show up for others. You're not selfish for loving yourself. I wish that was better known. You're cultivating your bandwidth. You're growing, right? And it's free. How about that? Like it's actually free. You don't have to pay for it. Mm, you do have to work for it though. Sometimes. Sometimes we can only love ourselves that much, and giving ourselves reasons to love ourselves does feel like a juxtaposition, but you can't help. Right? It can give you something to do, to say it in so many words. More critical, I mean important. They tortured me to the point of tears, would not stop when asked so. They got hit lightly. I pulled my punches every time. And then they told dad, and they didn't know why they got hit. Of course not. I grew up being blamed for abusing them when the opposite was true. And I was stuck in a situation where no one would believe me because my older brother conveniently told an identical lie. Yeah, that's pretty evil. That is pretty evil. You friends are the first to think I'm actually other than an angry and abusive person. Sam, you are not the things that other people think about you. Right? And what other people think about you is none of your business. It's one of my favorite ones. It's a little bit abrasive. You're like, hey, whoa. But it's true, right? And you're not responsible for that either. And I had that conversation with Wessel today. We're like, bro, ek is nie verantwoordelik vir hoe jy voel oor my nie. Hoe jy voel oor my is hoe jy voel oor my. Right? I am not responsible for the way you feel about me. How you feel about me is how you feel about me. Right? It's you that is feeling that. You get to choose what you want to feel about me. I don't. Fortunately, I think it would be exhausting. Imagine if you had to feel for every single person for you. Feel like you would lose your mind instantaneously. I almost did just thinking about it. No, hell no. Oh hell no. It's none of your business. Let them think. Let them feel what they want to feel. Sam, I never thought about having a little sister because I didn't really care about the sibling I had. But you would be an excellent and worthy little sister in our Midwestern family. That's so flippin' beautiful, Dad. Thank you, dude, for sharing so much love. Sounds like a tough situation. We're all in tough situations, dude. Just because the situation is different, just because the circumstances are different, sometimes starting points are different. We're all going to have this experience that is the struggle of life, right? And not because we're being punished, because we wanted this. This is what we chose out of the everything we could have chosen. We loved enough this version of life to live it. To live this version of your life. The all lives. I am equals we are. I saw that yesterday and it was like, yeah. I just like saw it written down. Looked good in my brain. The friends are the first. Again, love to you. Sam, it happens to me. The first two. Take this as the correct model of relationships. I am an angry person too. You're not alone. It's not our fault. Oh, Sam, it's not. Sorry. I'm so sorry you went through that. I went through something similar. It's an awful feeling. I love and accept you. So much love to you, friend. Thank you, Sam, for echoing that love as well. Shelly saying, Sam, if you need any resources. Oh, she's
Sam is on it. Like I feel Sam is probably one of the most educated people when it comes to like psyche work, mind stuff. Right? It's a nice word. Like Sam is really into mind stuff. She mind stuff so hard. Thanks, y'all. I love being here. Shelly, thank you. That's exactly what I need. Please, Rajad, thank you so much. I'm not an expert, but I want to share everything with the help. Thank you so much. So much. I appreciate you, friends, sharing. I'm petting myself, Melty. Petting myself, so right. Yeah, right. It doesn't have to be weird. You can just put your hands in your own hair. Take a breath. The fact that I can tell you to take a breath and you're like, yeah, I know what that means. Maybe I'm talking to an alien right now. Maybe they don't breathe. It's like, I am not a respirating being. You monkey. Well then, pull in information and then delete information or whatever, dude. I'm sure we can simulate breathing in robots. We can. We can do that. You can give it an oscillation. We can link it beautifully to some sort of quantum, right? Yes, oscillations. Ones and zeros. Feel both. Anyone? That's my Discord. Thank you, Shelly, for sharing your information, friend. Fun fact, I had no friends from 2011 until ARPAN, when I met Melt and all of you friends. It has changed my life fundamentally. Having friends has been the food for my heart has starved for. Thank you for allowing yourself to eat, I guess. Yeah. I hope that, we can keep this banquet, open to all of us indefinitely. That's such a beautiful analogy. Sitting down to eat something, realizing that we eat with everything, right? We eat with our ears, we eat with our eyes, we eat with our sensory feelings. We can eat with our collective breath. We eat, oxygen molecules, and also we're eating together. We can be like, oh yes, we're having a nice little breathe. So nice. And your friends are talking as well, right? Sharing for me to eat from your minds in a weird way. Fun fact. Thank you again, Shelly, for being here. I'm scrapbooking right now to my documenting fun times in a fun way is loving myself. Me too, Susanna. I've noticed how journaling really makes me feel good. I think it's writing in general. It gives me a space to be a little bit more ranty, I guess. Ranty in the right direction, I think. Where I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna be ranting, but I'm gonna be ranting to myself, but I should be ranting. I was like, bro, look at this. Now it's written out, though. You see? Doesn't this look better? Yeah, oh, remember. This is something I slightly disagree with Melty, because sometimes people don't always agree with the defensiveness that there's a brain may think of someone. Sometimes people need help getting rid of those ideas. I'm not suggesting that therapy is useless or that you shouldn't seek help. That's definitely not what I say. Very much not so. Like I feel it's very much a personal journey, right? And to be completely honest, I wouldn't mind seeing a psychologist or a psychiatrist or a therapist or, etc., etc. It wouldn't be something that I would scoff at or pretend that I don't need, because I feel all of us can use someone to talk to. And I feel yesterday, my conversation with Shannon, in a way, did feel like that. Like her questions allowed me to reiterate the way I feel about things, and saying them out loud allows me. Here we go back again. It doesn't have to be wired, but I will do my best to make it so. Should I say more? Except you friends of this insect, your friends of this one neat trick. Melt, that's an analogy that works. The starvation from lack of seeking love and fullness from friendship. We unfortunately live in a society like that right now. You know, one where we don't know our neighbors. It's so odd, right? Like the person that literally lives directly next to you is not someone you want to talk to. You shouldn't even. You should sometimes even avoid them at all costs. And I'm not saying like, oh, this is what people do. This is what I did. This is what I did. Right? Like for instance, my very first place that I stayed at in China, there was a kid who had one of three pastimes in the floor above me. Pastime number one, the piano. Number two, the drum set. Number three, and this one was the one that hurt me the most because at least I could vibe a little bit to the piano and the drum set. And I was like, this kid is practicing, so I guess I should leave him alone. But then there was the third pastime, ping pong. And you're like, ping pong? Yeah. And it's not the ping pong that was the hard part. The hard part was the fact that he kept missing balls, but not always, right? So there wasn't any consistency or rhythm to it. It was just not hearing anything, and then suddenly hearing tuck 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 tuck. And it's like 10 at night, and I'm laying in my bed, and I can feel myself losing my mind, where I'm like in anticipation, waiting for him to miss a ball again, because I know what's happening. I can feel the ball is in the air on the table now, and then tuck 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 tuck. And it's like probably like the exact room above the room that I was sleeping in, and I I had to fight for my sanity. I really had to fight for my sanity. Oh goodness, never mind. No, and they were also, Chinese speaking, so even if I wanted to know my neighbors, I wouldn't be able to talk to them, unfortunately. It's also one of the hard parts, right? It's one thing not to know your neighbors. It's a whole other thing to need other people to help me show it's wrong. Even my friends, like finding good, true friends. I like that analogy. Dry historian, like I'm not going to discredit how you feel, right? That's never my point. I am, however, going to reiterate and believe anything about ourselves. I know my brain is wrong. I also think there's something wrong with me. I do. I do. But I think there's something wrong with me in the right kind of way. All right? Like, my hypersensitivity to sound, for example, even though I don't think that's normal, I wouldn't want to. I wouldn't want to give it away, right? Even though I could have, maybe, or I can one day. It's still something that we would choose to have. So, find what's wrong with you and realize how it can become a strength, right? Even your anger. Anger is an emotion that you have like any other. Just use it for something good, right? If you feel angry, use it to bring right action for yourself or for some sort of project, right? Use to motivate yourself. Be so angry with this potential future that you see that you're like, oh hell nah. Oh hell nah, that's not happening. This future is what I believe is worthy. Talking about people that manifest. Hey, Maxine, sending you love. Dry, do you say it mentally or out loud? Corey, all the time, I'm trying to break down brain patterns and I learn to trust myself. It's a work in progress still. You're doing good, right? You're making strides, even if it feels like you're going in reverse. It's a process, as you said. And it's sometimes a long one, but it's not something that you have to abandon. Arita told me smiling is medicine, so now I smile at myself every day in a mirror. Keep doing it. You can say loving things to yourself as well. It feels odd sometimes. Just being like, I love you. It's very odd, very weird. But you can do that. The vibrations still permeate your being and back into it. There she is. Love is being sent. Dry. That's good. It has more power when you say it out loud. Maybe just try to pick one or two brain patterns that are giving you the most difficulty and work on them, or some small ones to get started and to build momentum to bigger problems. Trying to pay attention to all the patterns and change them all at once is overwhelming and discouraging. Beautiful point. A very beautiful point you're making, Corey. I've been trying to spend a little bit of time with my problems just by being still as well. So maybe do a little bit of both. Define, the list of problems. Maybe pick the one that is the most actionable and easiest to see happen. And then spend some time in stillness considering all of the other things that you have to do. And then just start at the first one. And as you beautifully said, there is a level of momentum. Like you build a track record of yourself. Beautiful quote that is kind of like sticking with me, that confidence is the track record you have of yourself. And that the hardest person's trust to win is your own. Like I'm really feeling these fractals. Trying to pay attention to all of the patterns and change them all at once is discouraging again. So beautifully said. Jovan, it's nice having you. We had a Quayful tune in by laughing at me a little bit ago. Thought about you, sending you good vibes. Oh yeah, definitely Melt. I'm trying to give my bad brain parts better outlets that will be healthier. I believe in you. Thank you for doing that, Try. Corey, that momentum is self-trust. Yep. And it's hard to trust ourselves when we have such a track record of the us, not being trustable. Look at this. Look at this. Huh? I trusted you to stay on your diet, and here you didn't stay on your diet. I'm not a person who can stay on a diet. You don't have to diet. Actually, dieting is pretty much debunked. Dieting doesn't work. All you have to do is eat less. That's all we have to do. We don't have to go on some sort of fancy schmancy diet. We just have to eat less and more stuff that's good for us, right? Whole veg, high fiber veg, and enough protein, even if you're doing it with vegetables as well. And by the way, Shannon shared with me that I might get more pimples with the whey protein. And I think you might be right, actually. Shannon. I'm gonna continue experimenting. Maybe we'll switch over to like pea protein or brown rice protein or egg protein. We'll see, right? Experimenting. I haven't taken protein shake in a very long time. It's helping with the calories, right? It's so much like when you get that nagging to like eat something and then you're like you want to grab a packet of chips or something. These days when I feel that way, I take 2 eggs with some water and a scoop of protein powder, and then I chug that. And I'm like, there you go. Hungry? Yum yum. And it at the same time kind of like stunts my hunger and also tastes like raw egg a little bit, which also doesn't particularly sit well with me. It works. It does work, but it's not something I recommend because apparently it can give you more pimples. It ups your protein, ups your testosterone, which makes you like spike testosterone when it starts to become metabolized in your body, which if you're building muscle might actually be a good thing, but your skin is also a part of the whole as the organism, right? And that spike in testosterone suddenly makes your skin produce more sebum, allowing you to clog more pores. How about that? The more you know, I guess. Uh, there's enough protein in eggs and peanut butter that you don't really need the extra protein unless you're bulking. My weight training teacher in high school and said most of the people who use protein usually just piss out most of what they take in. I eat less than 100 grams of protein a day. I'm like at 100 grams of protein a day. Yeah, probably less than. A little bit less than. So I don't think I'm overdoing it. I'm technically, right, according to me measuring my body weight, length, age, I'm supposed to be eating about 50% more than I am right now. But I don't feel like I need that. I don't feel like I need that. So I'm very much drinking the protein powder because it's the easiest way for me. Like I can't eat that much, right? Like when I eat protein-rich foods, I cannot eat that much. If I had to eat, excessive amounts of carbohydrates to get more calories, the calories they recommend I should eat, then it would be easy for me. But it's not as easy with proteins, unfortunately. Love you, friends. Thank you for joining me. Roblox correction officer and Wrestling Thompson. Sending you good vibes, friends. Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. Bravely International has a protein blend with 80% long release casein. And yo, it is some of the best tasting stuff I've ever had. If it tastes good, even better. I usually just chug my protein powder. I don't drink it like a treat. I drink it like something that needs to be drunk, like water. I'm like, ah yes, water to stay hydrated, protein sludge to grow big and strong. It's mostly so that my joints don't hurt, right? Then I know I'm underdoing it a little bit of my protein intake because like my foot starts hurting and my wrists start hurting, and then if I up my protein intake a little bit more, that stops happening, and I'm like, I don't really want to feel like shit. 100 grams of protein gives me the food groans just thinking about it. My word. Really, Sam? 100 grams of protein is really not that much. Like like the way that I used to eat when I was actually trying, right? Like there's a part of my life where I thought that was what I was supposed to do. I I found the deep sense of love. You were quite pretty. I can't hear you. I'm sorry about that. Apparently the mic is all messed up. I've tried to give it gain, but it doesn't seem to work sometimes. Uh, yeah, and it it definitely is uncomfortable, right? It's not easy eating that much protein. But at least it leaves me not feeling hungry, right? And that's again, where I come back to. It's not so much about what I eat, it's about feeling the need to continue eating that I worry about. Because I get ravenously hungry when I eat carbohydrates. Oh, the moon is looking beautiful. Let's see if I can show you. It's like that little speckadoo right there. The stream tripped me out multiple times.
We went quite deep today. You could join us on the YouTube. Thank you, Shan, for letting our friends know. In my opinion, the perfect ratio is 15%, 15%, 15p, 15 of ratios, 15 protein, 22 carbs, 6 fat, before I train and after in any form. That doesn't sound bad actually. It's like good ratios. I do a lot less carbs, and these days I do carbs almost uh, like a snack, right? Like with my protein, I had 3 eggs in my protein shake and 3 chicken breasts. I don't know exactly how much 3 chicken breasts weigh exactly, right? But 3 chicken breasts, and then 6 eggs with those chicken breasts as well, and that gives me about, yeah, about 100 grams of protein total, and then 3 slices of bread. I don't know how much carbs that is actually. Hey Google, how many carbohydrates is 3 slices of bread? 18 grams. How about that? Okay, so 36 grams for all three of them. That's not too bad. 36 grams of carbs, 100 grams of protein, and then I add some fat as well to cook the food with. So my ratios are very much not quite on it, but I'm eating carbs these days. Hello, kitty. I'm eating carbs these days more from this perspective of I'm not depriving myself of it anymore. Like I can have a few bits of carbs, but I'm still eating the majority of my calories and protein, and that still gives me the benefits that I appreciate from eating a high protein diet of feeling satiated and like I don't need to eat more things, while at the same time not making me feel like I'm depriving myself of something and building, I don't know if it's resentment, but craving, just building craving, right? Like this, oh, I need to eat these things. Oh, I'm missing out or whatever. 100 grams of protein. I think a good one. I've got this from the official U.S. Olympic team's protein bar. This is a good for basketball and soccer marathon. Hello, Kazi. Hello, Kazi, Kazi. Kazi, 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 kiss. Where's it, guys? Thank you. Let's pull a card, shall we? Send all of your mental energy. I want to see if I can change something quickly. I think this changed it a little bit. Yeah. All of your mental energy. Think what you want to see. Out of everything that you could see, what would be the most meaningful? Orange. I like today's scarf and shirt setup as well. I think it's going to be an interesting flower. Let's see dry story, and if you're right though. This one? Not orange. Not orange dry. Weirdly enough, the polar of orange though. So blue. So maybe there's like a balancing happening in you. I feel like this is a feminine card actually. Octahedron. I was thinking that at the start of the stream out your shirt and combo. It was like, yeah, it's gonna be a cool flower. I'm looking forward to it. I got like these little strings all tangled up together for the flower, so I'm gonna have like little squigglies probably. Let's see. Card number 54. Nourishment and air. We were talking about breathing a little bit, right? Talking about if robots could breathe. Wouldn't want them to breathe actual air, but the feeling of that nourishment, that receiving, and then giving back might be a cool thing. We pull it reversed at first.
and it goes, an aspect of intolerance needs to be addressed. Expand the generosity of your spirit and feel how that lightens your life. Hmm. This whole stream started from this perspective of feeling like there's a sense of intolerance for the way my brother is treating me, right? And I don't know if I'm being intolerant of it, but I feel if I was tolerating it more, it wouldn't have even registered in my consciousness and I wouldn't even have had to talk about it. So, an aspect of intolerance needs to be addressed. I accept. Expand the generosity of your spirit and feel how that lightens your life. The octahedron, with its 8 triangular faces, is one of the 5 3-dimensional shapes called the Platonic solids. Seen in another way, an octahedron is a figure created by 2 pyramids sharing the same base. One pyramid points up, one pyramid points down, dividing space into 8 equal directions. The octahedron is associated with the element of sky energies united. It is male and female in balanced understanding, right? Balanced understanding, the orange and the blue, right? Complementary colors. The sun peeking a little bit through. Maybe we can like give it a little bit more like the story version when we were kids and we used to put the sun in the corner like that and it would like give it little lines. What the hell was happening? Okay. This card invites you to consider how your life is nourished by broadening your perspective and looking at the many facets in many directions in order to find balance and nourishment. Reflect on the effect of the 8 aspects of the object of your inquiry. Sit quietly and breathe in the situation. Might patience help events flow more freely? Remember, at our core, we are all love, and joy and peace are our birthright. Feel appreciation for the process and gratitude for the understanding that you will gain. You may want to choose other aspects to explore. Create your own list. The message here is to know that you will be nourished by expanding your point of view. You will be nourished by expanding your point of view. You will be nourished. I think, like, and we were talking about the eating thing, right? We were literally, oh goodness, Shelley brought that perspective beautifully into the stream. Nourished by your expanded point of view, right? And the way that I think about it is you can have a point of view that's narrow, right? A sliver of the infinity. And then that's what you get to consume. And then if you expand your point of view, that becomes like a vacuum, and nature abhors a vacuum. So you become filled with more abundance. Let yourself expand your point of view, widen, zoom out, pay attention. There's a lot going on right now. And you are smack dab in the center of it. Realize that you get to pick what you want to experience. And the best experience you can pick for yourself is love. 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 It's so simple. And yet we keep forgetting over and over and over and over and over and over, over and over and over and over again, over and over and over and over. Oh, I was thinking that at the start of the stream. Actually, could just pull a card for me, Melty. Dry story, and I'll do that. I needed that. Dang, how perfect. Beautifully so. Thank you for being here. We'll pull a card for Dry Story as well. Which one is it going to be? This one, Dry. Mm. Mm. We pulled it upside down. And I feel the upside down meaning might be exactly what you need to read. Because like, it's almost going to be too much, but yeah, you're going to see. The phase mandala. This is a card about phases of life, right? And passing on from those phases. We We showed the moon as well during stream today. And I feel like you're going through a phase right now. You mentioned in a few, maybe like yesterday, day before yesterday, Dry. Sorry, time doesn't exist in my brain anymore, unfortunately. That you've lost a friend, right? They chose to go somewhere else, to be friends with someone else, for example. And that is like a phase, right? You were in the phase of having that friend, and that phase is now moving on. Phase two, card two. The upside down reverse meaning goes, realize you may not be able to reverse phases. However, you can move with them. We can't change it, right? Right. And like I remember us talking about how I don't want you to feel like you need to change in order to get that phase back. Right? It's not something that you need to prove yourself with. You're already proved. You exist. Contemplation, manifestation, and completion. Everything moves in cycles and then begins anew. Mindful advancement through phases gives personal, symbolic meaning to any event. Look to the underlying energy and movement rather than the actual event. On some level, a physical move, a new job, or a creative project, a birth, or an expansion in relationship, or a collapse of relationship, is similar energetically. Each involves your intention to move towards new possibilities and the fruition of your personal dream. Each represents a phase in the cycles of your life, experience, and your spiritual growth. Each moves you towards the evolution of your vision. Honor the progression of movement in your current situation. Meow. Your mouse meow. Is that a meow meow? Meow low? Mawalawa? Muskia! Hello, Hoopty. It's nice having you, dude. It's nice. Sending you so much love, man. Oh, thanks for popping by. Definitely just going with the flow and letting the universe do its thing. Don't let the universe do its thing too much. I know it's you, but sometimes we do things to ourselves that we don't want to do, right? Sometimes the universe wants to consume a whole bucket of ice cream, and then you have to be like, hey, universe, can you put the spoon down? Oh, please stop with the ice cream, please. Please stop. Right? But sometimes we have to go with the flow and eat a little bit of ice cream, treat ourselves. Balance in all things. You'll find balance, try. We believe in you, friend. I love you, friend, so much. Thank you for joining me. I love you. I love you. Love is the only resource that grows as you share it. Please do. See you soon.